here live with us on String Theory this Wednesday night, my favorite night of the week, and we are having a wicked special good time had by all here live at G&G Music in Antigonish, Nova Scotia, with our prime numero uno partner, Glenn Gotel. And we're here with him at the shop. I'm playing right now a nice SG41. This is South American mahogany, a Boucher, of course. And Glenn, as we all know, is the #1 Boucher dealer on the planet. And there's no wonder why. Because he's the nicest guy selling the nicest guitars. And another thing we're sharing with you tonight that's really cool, one of the reasons we came here, is because we are celebrating 20 years for G&G Music. Yay! 20 years that this shop's been here. And I've known Glenn a little longer than that because I knew him as a performer before I ever saw him as a shop owner. And we're going to talk about all that. There's a lot of stuff to go over tonight that's happening here at the store and with us and the channel. And so, yeah, we're pretty excited. So, shout outs. It's easy to shout out. He's right there. So, shout out to Glenn and G&G and our other partners. Boucher Guitars, of course, couldn't do any of this without Robin and Guillaume and Julian and Levy's Straps, another Canadian. Yeah. K&K Pickups. And most recently, I am, as you might know from watching the reveal video on here on YouTube, on the channel, I'm now a featured artist with Gallagher Guitars from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. One of the greatest legacy builders and the builder of the guitar that my biggest hero played, Doc Watson, played Gallagher, as well as many other people like Grandpa Jones and there's a few modern players that play Gallagher as well. And we're really excited about all that. And so there you go. If you like what you see on here, hit the subscribe button. If you want to see all the private, perky, weird, naked things, join.
No naked things.
No naked things. And if you want to, if you like what you see, hit the tip jars below there. And make sure you check out all our partners. All the links are there in the description below this video. So there you go. Good night. Oh, sorry. Now, questions. Yes, we have questions. Okay, so we see Joe is on. Doug Law is on from Deseronto. That's awesome. So let's see. We'll take one from Caper Away. Caper Away asked me if I've ever played guitar with Anna Massey. And it's funny you should mention that. Because I have played with Anna Massey. And one of the stranger and funnier things about my career is that there's several venues in my lifetime that I've had extended relationships with, and as I progressed through years of working with those venues, they often went out in the world and found people to play with me, or more accurately, cut heads with me. That's how I met Tim Eady, and Celtic Colors brought Tim in specifically to play with me at my Guitar Summit, because they thought it would be exciting, and of course it was. It turned into an album and everything else. And Anna Massey was brought in for the same reason. Anna was brought in just after winning the huge BBC award for Young Musician of the Year, and she is tremendous. And she came in as just a kid at the Celtic Colors Guitar Summit in Judic a long time ago. I don't know how long now, 10, 15 years. And she blew everybody's mind. And she's a sweetheart. And I just seen her in Scotland, I believe, not that long ago. Can't remember which trip it would have been. But I ran into her. And she's still playing, of course, touring. She's part of a band now, I believe. I can't remember the name of it, but she's just an amazing musician. Great guitar player. Really great guitar player. So yes, Anna Massey, she rocks. let's see. Oh, we're gonna put the certificate back in the old Boucher here. Oh. So let's see. Everybody's talking to each other already. Let's see. We got Hi Ginger from Uncle Joe there. Michael Easter's on. W.R. Mesher says congrats on 2 decades. And Rick Helf says the same. There's lots of people here saying they love you. Oh, Boucher Guitars, congratulations, Glenn. Hello, everyone. Glenn is the man. Congrats, G&G. Okay, Brother Joe. Here's a good one. This is interesting. He asks. My brother Joe asks about my take on blueberry guitars. You know about those? You ever seen them things?
No.
Okay. Well, blueberry guitars came out quite a few years ago, and there were several companies, and I won't mention them, but there's several companies in North America who kind of, I don't want to say this the wrong way, they kind of built their instruments and their reputation on the backs of builders in other nations that aren't like very well, I don't know how to say that. They got their instruments built cheap, let's just say, with very cheap labor, like probably even worse than, you know, the companies that use China and Indonesia and these places. And they actually built some incredible instruments, but they weren't that well made. They were beautiful looking, and but they didn't stay together, and which is unfortunate because some of the designs were incredible. And Blueberry was one of those companies. Their guitars are works of art, every single one of them, and they do some incredible things like laser etching the top in all these different patterns and these incredible inlays and carvings, and they're done by artisans, you know, in you know, Pan-Asian places where they just don't get a lot of money for what they do, and they come over here, and the guitars, from everything that I've heard from people who've owned them, they didn't stay together because they were built in a different climate. They came here to Canada and experienced extreme dry weather and fairly extreme humidity in the summers, and exploded. So I don't know how much of a presence they have now anymore. I always hoped to actually own one because I thought they were the most beautiful thing I ever seen. They're really something else to look at. But a friend of mine owns one, a very well-known musician in Canada, and he's had a couple of them, and he doesn't play them. And that was the reason he gave me. He said they just can't tolerate the weather in North America because they're just not built for it. So anyhow, I'd like to know more about them myself. I've never actually played one. I only know people who have and who have owned them. But I'll tell you, if you look them up online, it's really something. That the design work is unlike any other instrument you've ever seen, probably. So, yeah. So that's Blueberry. Good Lord.
Jim likes your haircut.
All right. So Brad Chalmers watched my review on the Yamaha FGX5, and he asked me if I prefer it to an FG5 with a K&K pickup. So the answer would be absolutely. I would prefer to have a K&K pickup, just because I don't care who makes the pickup. It's not going to be as good as K&K, but the pickup that's in the FGX5 is fabulous. It works perfectly. In the review, I actually plugged the guitar directly into Pro Tools, raw, to see what it sounded like, and it was flawless. Now, the FGX3 has a fairly serious problem with the pickup, where it's common that all guitars, if you don't have a really good installer doing the work, it's And the other thing is the FGX3 is built in China, and the FGX5 is built in a custom shop in Japan. So there's a different level of workmanship going in, and the two guitars are incredible. But I find that the pickup installs on the threes aren't done with as much dexterity as they are on the fives. So that's not the first FX3 that I've seen that has a pickup. Now this is the problem I didn't mention. It's just that the strings are different volumes, and that's because there's an imperfection in the saddle or the saddle slot, where the slot isn't completely flat on the bottom, or the bottom of the saddle isn't completely flat. So I use the guitar live at a gig, and boy, man, it plays incredible. It sounds incredible, but the A, G, and D strings, the middle strings, are of a lower volume than the B, E, and big E. And for me, that's just I can't. I'm so OCD about my guitars that I can't concentrate to play when that's happening, and it actually hurt the show for me. I was so distracted by it, and that's why I only use K&K, because it's not possible for K&K to have that problem. And your guitar always sounds the same, no matter what. The K&K delivers all of the strings, all of the sound, all even, and there's just no way. There's no trade-off you could make for that. It's the best thing you could ever have, right? So there it is. So that I'm gonna definitely keep in the 3 and the 5. I think they're both. I think those guitars, and I see them online. I've been watching a lot of videos today about the FG series, and there's some really heavyweight content creators now comparing those guitars to D18 Martins and even 28s. And there's some of these guys that are saying this could be the best mahogany guitar of 2020, and they could be right. It's for, like, in that realm of factory huge name companies. These guitars are stunning. Like, they sound like the FG5, to my ear, sounds like a vintage D18. It's no way around that. And so, yeah, I think they're a great guitar, and I've had a lot of questions. I'm probably answering a bunch of questions right now that I should, that aren't even on here or may show up later, but I've been asked dozens of questions about the FG series. Which one should you buy, the 3 or the 5, and all that stuff. And I'm telling everybody, buy either one, and you have to play them. Go in the store, go to a Long & McQuaid, and find and they come in 2 different body sizes too. There's a dreadnought, there's FX, which is full dreadnought, and the FS, which is a OM or double O or triple O, whatever you want to call that body size. So go in the store and play them, and you'll find there'll be one of them there that will just melt your face. So if you're looking for that, and the price point you can't go wrong with. So there you go. So there's the story on the Yamahas. Okay, let's see now. What else? Who else? Good Lord. Jimmy's on. Oh, geez. A whole bunch of people just jumped up. GX image. Okay, that's WR Mesher has said he's just ordered his Recording King resonator. That should be arriving soon, and they are awesome. I haven't played one yet, but I've seen a ton of reviews on these guitars, and Recording King, that's their forte, is building old sounding instruments. That's what they do the best, and that's why they sell so well. Because people come in and they look for a guitar, and then they end up falling in love with the Recording King because it's got that vibe. It's got that old vibe. It's a brand new instrument, but you feel like you're buying something from a pawn shop that's been played for 60 years, right? Like, and they sound that way. And so a resonator body, they do so well, because that's the whole magic of resonator guitars is the age they carry in their sound. So yeah, when you get it, drop us a line and let us know how you like it. Because, yeah, I'm actually I have a new one coming in too, and I didn't get it today. I was hoping to, but I'm going to get one soon, today or tomorrow, might be. And there'll be a video on it, so I'll be getting to that as well. Michael Easter. Thanks, Michael. Michael immediately went to the Gallagher Guitars website to see if I was listed, and he's found me there. And so now he's saying, I will tweet or retweet if that's already done. Thanks, Michael. And 3-Card Monty says, hey, G&G, thank you for the Levy's brown leather strap from Dave from New Jersey in the United States. That's awesome. 3-Card Monty says, play a goose. Play a goose.
He wants you to play a goose.
Oh, he wants me to play one?
Yeah.
Oh, there's all kinds of them here. I'll get to that. Acoustic Guitar Canada. We love you guys. Thank you. Hello from Montreal. They're coming in. I see Herschel Rector. Good to see you again. If you had $3,000 to spend on a smaller than Dreadnought guitar for mainly finger picking, but some strumming, what 3 guitars would you say to look at? $3,000.
For something smaller than a Dreadnought?
Well, I would just instantly tell you to go to a Boucher. It would cost you a bit more than $3,000. Like, what would you say?
A triple O?
Is this body style?
They're around 39.
Yeah, for another $900, you could get into a Boucher. Like this one here is a bit more than that because it's loaded with all of their special features. They call it the Gold Pack. But like this guitar here is their OM Studio Goose, so it's braced for that, for fingerstyle and everything. And all bound in maple. This is a 4+ Adirondack top. Like, Robin has the best Adirondack in the world. Like, he sells this to dozens of other companies, big companies like Martin, Taylor, Gibson. I know there's a lot of them that buy wood from him. Eastman. So this will give you. Now this is. I'm only playing this because it's a freak. I want you to hear it, but they all sound like this. They all have something that you just can't find anywhere else. Like, that'll just keep ringing till tomorrow. So for like another $900, you could have a Boucher. Might not have all these appointments, but it would sound virtually like this one. Robin, from what I have seen over 5 years, the man can't make a bad guitar. I've never seen one yet, and I've played dozens of his instruments. Things sound like an airplane taking off. It'll just go and go and go and go. So that would be the first place I'd send you. And then after that, like, what about Lakewood?
Oh, certainly.
What about Lakewood for an OM body?
Oh, the M32?
Yeah.
For sure.
What do they run?
Same kind of money. They go about 39, 41, yeah.
So there's another choice, a German guitar, very good guitar.
There's something that's actually less than $3,000?
I'm thinking. The only other thing, like, if you wanted something that was really high end the only other thing that I can think of right now, off the top of my head, is the Yamahas, the FS body. They only cost $2,000. If you were to get an FS5, they cost $1,900, and they're incredible, incredible. They're just, for the money. There's no way you can get around them. And then if you're looking for vibe, and it's shocking. Like the Recording Kings. You look at this guitar. Like I'll even play one of the model below this one. This is a Series 11. And what do these run, Glenn?
$600.
It was $600 for that. And this is a Series 9, which is below the 11, right? And solid top. Can't remember. Definitely laminate back and soft.
Yeah, I think the top. No, the top is not solid.
Okay. So that guitar there is 100% solid.
Yeah.
This is laminate, but the body size. What does this run?
$395.
$400. And I'm telling you, like I have a couple of these, and I won't part with them. They're $400 guitar, but they have character coming out their yin yang, and they sound fantastic for that money. So on and so on. Like I mean, and these even come with the nicest Fishman. These are nice pickup systems on board for $400, right? And it really is. The guitar's got a great vibe. It's old sounding, feeling, rings like a bell. Lots of sustain, lots of wood in it, and the 11's even nicer for another couple $100. So you've got that realm as well. Recording King. Makes all kinds of guitars under $1,000 that will last you forever. And I don't know, what am I missing? I've listed all my favorites. What's around $3,000 for a good fingerstyle guitar, do you figure?
Alvarez, Yari.
Yep.
Yeah, they make a decent guitar.
They do.
Yeah.
Yep. I've reviewed those as well. But you know, it really does come down to what you want. If you want, I mean, you can buy 2 or 3 guitars over 20 years and spend $3,000, right?
Easy.
Or you can buy one for $4,000 and last you till you die. It's just that simple. And it's so subjective, right? Guitar is all about the player. So it's whatever you like, whatever hits your ear and is going to inspire you to play. That's the most important thing about all of it, is what makes you want to pick that guitar up and become a better guitar player. And we all get that much better every day that we practice, right? So I hope that helps. I mean, there's just so many choices. I'm only just listening to stuff that's around me. But those are that would be my advice. You know, there's some great builds in this room, and then even we have Martins here. You have the occasional Gibson come in.
Oh yeah, trade-ins on Bushes.
Yeah, trade-ins on, but yeah, that's the problem, right? So anyhow, I would, the Gibson, the Bouchers are just. Well, that's a beauty. That one. Good Lord, that's a nice guitar. Okay. Play the loudest guitar in the store.
Tenor.
I know which one that is.
Yeah.
What have you got one?
No,
He's gonna pull one out.
I've got an SG42 and an SG52.
Do the 52. Okay, this is gonna be the. He even knows. He didn't even hesitate. This is my pickup. This is what I put in every single guitar that I own. They are the best pickups in the plant. Been doing it for 15 years. Oh, God. Oh.
There she be. It's a beauty.
Okay. He didn't even tell me about this one. So this is a Studio Goose Dreadnought, an SG52. Indian Roseback and sides, killer Adirondack top, loudest guitar in the store.
Jesus.
Oh, God. Holy. It's hurting my ear. That's ridiculous. Oh, that's stupid. My ears hurt. I'm not kidding you. That's making my ear. I got one ear ringing now. Holy God. That's the loudest guitar I've ever heard, I think.
Crazy. Yeah.
Hoy! Listen to it. Oh, hey. It just talks to you. Hey, hey, hey. Just rings and rings. Well, there you go. We all learned something there. Don't mess around when Glenn pulls one of these out. What's the price on that?
That one there is $39.
There you go. Look at that. $3,900. I hate to say this, Glenn, but I have to say this.
What's that?
If you bought a Martin that you wanted to buy them, and they make them, that sound like that, you would pay 10 grand.
Oh God, yeah, for sure.
There'd be no question. There's no way that you're going to get a standard factory Martin, a D28 herringbone that sounds like that without going to the custom shop.
And the thing about
$3,900. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is for sure.
That's incredible. What a guitar.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the thing about Boucher too is you can sit down and close your eyes and play 5 of the same models, and chances are you're not going to tell them apart.
No.
They're that close.
They're that close,
they're
yeah.
they're just a perfect guitar, no question about it.
They have a lot of consistency. And that reminds me, we should talk about, can we take a break from questions? Let's see who's on here first. I'm going to ask more questions, but there's a bunch of things I want to show you. Ooh, Master Guitar hits in. Good Lord. Thank you, Cam, for the super chat. There's another one. 3-card Monty. Herschel. 3-card Monty made a great suggestion, and we were talking about this company recently. It's Blue Ridge. Blue Ridge makes pretty damn good guitars for $2,000 or $3,000, and they're Chinese, of course, but there's a good possibility that they have a Boucher top on them. So I think that's one of the companies Robin deals with. But I mean, again, and that's you always seem to be pushing that way. Like at that 3,000 point, there's a lot of good Asian companies, right? But if you go another $800, you're into this. You're into Boucher. You're into Lakewood. You're so close to being into boutique shops. You know, it's almost a sin to not spend the extra $800 and buy a masterpiece, right? But Blue Ridge is good, yes, and oh God, hey, Joshua McGrath asked what's my favorite Chet Atkins tune, and could I play it for you? Jim says congrats on the haircut.
Yeah. I think I did a damn good job.
Yeah, you did. She
Look at
did.
that.
She
It's
did.
beautiful.
She didn't even cut me. Never lost an ear or nothing.
Here's all of his skin.
Should I do this Chet Atkins thing?
It's up to you. We got lots of time. As much time as we want.
Okay. What do you want me to play?
Got a Chet Atkins guitar?
No, I don't have one of those.
We don't need one. Let's see. What should I play? How about, hey, let's do the Lakewood.
Sure.
Let's do this. This is a special guitar here, guys. And I'm going to tell you why, too. These are a German guitar, and this company is,
Free card money says play a loud one.
yeah, it's loud. And these are a special company to me because this is the actual guitar company that brought Glenn and I together, working together. I was driving down the road one day and he called me on the cell phone and said, "You got to come try these guitars." And I said, "What guitars?" He said, "Lakewood." And I never heard of them. So I came down and I played one. I ended up buying 2 of them. And then we had one designed. And they actually kept our design. The maple leaf fret markers, not on this guitar, but they do use them. And that was all from me and Glenn. And Glenn became the #1 Lakewood dealer in the world. And or in Canada, North America. He had the whole continent. But so this is we'll play this one because this one's part of our prize tonight. The winner of the trivia question night. This is just one part of the special prize. And this actually open to everybody, right?
Yeah, it's open to everybody for sure, yeah.
But if you win the prize, you can call right away. And you get $600 off this guitar. And it's a Haas. This thing is a pure Haas. So it is too. They got their own sound. They don't sound like any other guitar. So my favorite Chet Atkins tune, I don't really have one. So I'll play you the first one I ever learned. That I still play to this day live. So there's your Lakewood. $600 off.
600 off.
600 off.
Yep.
It's a lot of money. So you're getting it basically for $4,000, and this is one of their top end guitars.
It's Matt Anderson's been playing.
And
for
yes,
15
this is
years.
Matt Anderson's weapon of choice for what, a decade now? At least over 10 years.
Yeah.
This is the guitar that Matt plays, and no wonder, because it's a huge guitar. It's a huge voice, and it's got a lot of power. If you got a heavy hand, or even for fingerstyle, I think it works pretty good. But if you got a good chop on you and you like to push a lot of volume, this is the guitar. You don't take a lot of punishment. Great instrument. And okay, so there's one very special part of the evening. I told you this would be cool. This 20th anniversary stuff is wicked stuff.
You want to show them the guitars up there?
Well, let's go over there after.
Okay.
Let's answer some more questions first. Okay. Cabinet Master. Congratulations to Glenn. Yeah, Jim Hanlon just quoted, and I had just said that there's already been a major acoustic guitar site. I don't know which one. I can't remember which one it was. They already voted the FG5 Yamaha the best guitar, best production guitar of 2020. That's how serious it is. They're freaking people out. So if you're looking for a factory guitar, like a big name company, this particular model is a freak. So check them out. The Happy Knot. Okay, this is an interesting question. The Happy Knot says, I recently watched a Land and Sea documentary on Otis Thomas, who's a friend of mine. I know Otis quite well. He's a beautiful guy. And he's a violin maker and guitar maker. And the Happy Knot wants to know what my take on Nova Scotia woods for instrument building. I don't know much about it. Because I don't think there's a whole lot of woods here. I think luthiers in Nova Scotia are probably sourcing their wood from outside. I don't think there's enough old growth here to provide the size of log that they would need for whatever. Like a violin might be different. I never asked Otis where he got his wood. Possibly he does get it from Cape Breton, but there's a vast possibility that he doesn't. That he has to import, logs, spruce like Sitka and especially maple. Now maple, it's a possibility that there's enough maple here for fiddle, because a fiddle obviously is that wide, but a guitar is that wide. So you have to have a log that's that wide to make it work. So you have a book matched piece of wood in the back. But I don't know that for certain. I just know that dealing with, talking to Robin and talking to other builders, sourcing wood is a problem. Although Robin, I know, brings spruce from Nova Scotia. Because he asked Bill Elliott to bring a truckload up from here. So perhaps there is enough Sitka here or some other kind of spruce that you could use for a top. That's an interesting question. I mean, maybe somebody can chime in and tell us that. But when it comes down to it, the wood is probably the least of your worries. Otis Thomas is a master luthier. He could make a guitar or a fiddle out of anything and make it sound good. I really believe that. He's that kind. Got the same kind of magic as Robin. Of course, Robin uses world-class materials. So does Otis. Like I've played his fiddles, played his guitars. Laura Smith, who we just lost sadly, played Otis's guitars. She had two of them. They are. I don't know where they are now, but I just saw her play them just a few months before she died. We did a songwriter circle together, and she had both of Otis's guitars, and they're incredible. He's a great builder, so that's sort of my take. I know there's other builders in the province. I can't call their names, so I'm not going to try. But there's a few other builders in the province who are starting to make waves around. I know there's a guy, and I'm sorry I can't remember your name, and I wish I could, but I can't think of it right now. But there's a luthier up in Pictou County who apparently is really starting to freak people out. I heard about him from Dave Gunning. And so he's coming along. I think Rosani is still here. George Rosani is still in Nova Scotia. He's built for Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones. He built the guitar that was made out of all the different pieces of Canadiana that went right across and came back again. It even has a piece of Stompin' Tom's footboard, one of his used boards in it, and a piece of a hockey stick in it, and like, so Rizzani's like a, you know, he's a what do you call a modern artist, right? Like but he also builds, you know, regular working gigging guitars, but he's a Picasso of guitar building, right? But yeah, so there's a lot of it here. You just have to find the builder you like and go with that, right? But I think I'm pretty sure that materials might be hard to come by. Especially some of it you can't come by at all, like rosewood. You're not going to find that growing in Nova Scotia. But maple and spruce and ash potentially, and those sort of things. Yeah, you never know. But yeah, if you have any info, hit me up in the comments and tell me what you think.
I saw a technical question or a how-to question flip by there a minute ago.
Yeah, Joe wants to know my opinion of the Yamaha. Joe used to play a Yamaha, which was actually a copy of a D35 Martin, a guitar that Yamaha was sued over and by Martin, and it was a great guitar. And you see them now. They're a Chinese instrument, or Japanese, I think Japanese. That you see them now on Reverb. They show up as collector's items because they're so rare now. Yeah, there was that company. There was a bunch of them. Maruha, Sigma was happening at that time in the 70s. They just started in 60, or no, wait a minute now. They hadn't started. That was the night. They started in 1983, or was it? Anyhow, yeah. There was a bunch of companies through the 70s and 80s that made Martin copies, and Yamaha was one of the higher end ones. And Joe had it was a cedar top, very interesting guitar, a cedar top D35 copy. The snowflake inlays, like it was a beautiful guitar. Let's see now. Pathos 66 asked me if I've ever tried my hand at flamenco or Spanish, and I have not, and I won't because it looks too hard, so I won't do that. And I sat for hours with one of my heroes, Bill Bourne. I don't know if you know who that is. He's a singer, songwriter, performer, incredible artist who has actually studied in Spain with flamenco guitar players and has learned that right hand pattern that makes it go. It's really bizarre, and it has a name. There's a name to each movement of the hand, has this classical Italian or Spanish name, and there's all these components of how it's done, and also how it ties into the dancing. It's all about dancing, right? So yeah, it's not something I can get into at this late stage in life. I'm just not going to bother, because if I get into something like that, I might not get out. I might study it for 10 years and stop being everything else. So, let's see. Jim, see. Okay, this is a really good question. Jim Hanlon. He was on a blog of Taylor followers, and included was a statement that the top enhancements or aging processes such as ARE or torrefaction, right, would mature no further. That's a load of bullshit. Okay, I've explained this before on here, and I'll try it again because I wish I could. Perhaps Boucher will hear me and jump in with the word I'm looking for. There's in the top of a guitar, especially in Adirondack and the higher end spruces. The reason they're so desirable is the grain is so wide, and they have there's a molecule inside the wood, and what that molecule does, it's like a doorway for moisture. It lets moisture in and it lets it out, and it's like a protein strand almost, and allows moisture to come into the guitar and expand the wood. And then when it's drying out, the same molecule allows the water out and lets the wood shrink back to its normal size. So what happens when you cut a tree down? Like, that's why I tell people guitars are alive, because they are. The wood on the top of a guitar is still living. That process that's happening in there, it's alive. And it takes years for these things to die. And that's what happens. They age and die, and they stop working. And that's what makes a guitar top sound so good. When all those little fellows die and the water can't get in and out anymore, the top turns dark, it turns more rigid, and it stops swelling and contracting. And that's what's desirable about a 60-year-old guitar, because the top is dead. All those things have died, and there's no water, there's not much water going in and out of it anymore. And it makes the guitar sound incredible. And it just leaves the wood fibers behind. This substance is gone, and it's just the fibers laying in there vibrating. And it gets louder, darker, fatter. Like, it just sounds incredible. So Robin was the first person in the world to ever torify Adirondack. And the reason is because Adirondack is so valuable and torrefaction is so dangerous that nobody would do it. So Robin came up with a recipe for how to torify Adirondack with little risk. And so he did that, and he's perfected it. And so torrefaction occurs, it's treated with something, and it's put into an oven and heated to a very precise temperature in a vacuum. That's the key. So it's heated to this very precise temperature in a vacuum with this treatment, and then when it comes out, it's 70 years old. The treatment kills all those fibers in there that are letting the water in and out. So there's your torrefaction. So the reason I say that it's bullshit, it's not going to age anymore, it will. It's going to continue to age. It will continue to get darker in color. There's still some of that substance in there, so that will continue to work and then die and leave, and the top will get lighter, louder, darker. It's going to age. It's not, you don't kill the entire piece of wood in the torrefaction process. It's just a bulk of it is destroyed by it. So the top still has living matter. It's still going to age. It's still going to expand, contract a little bit. And as far as I know, ARE, which is Yamaha's acoustic resonance, what's the E stand for? I've drawn a blank. But that's what it is. It's the acoustic resonance system, whatever they call it.
If systems start with an E.
ARE. Anyhow, acoustic resonance, whatever. Their system is, I'm not sure about this, but I know from looking at the tops that part of the system that they're using is just a toner. It's not torrefaction. I don't think it's torrified. I think it has to do with acoustic resonance engineering. That's what it's called. Uh-huh. And that's why it's not torrefaction, because they are...
Oh, Jim says it's enhancement.
Oh, enhancement. Okay. So I believe it's toned. There's a toner on it that alters, the timbre of the wood, no pun intended. And it is aged, probably chemically somehow. And that's why the tops are so pretty and perfect looking. But I don't think they use an actual torrefaction process. I could be wrong about that. And I also believe they use some really serious science on the thickness of the top in each of the areas of the guitar. I think that's another thing that they do. Like, they make the bass areas of the top geometrically, they're thinner than the rest of the top. And on that goes. They're geniuses, these people, at building instruments. So, and they use a lot of math and geometry to create their instruments. So I could be wrong about all that, but all of that aside, there's your semi-lesson for the night. I probably get 50 things wrong, but I can tell you one thing, that a torrefied top is not all the way dead. It's going to age, and especially the ARE stuff, because I don't believe they're torrefied that. So I think that will age, it will get better, louder, stronger, all that stuff. And I think that goes across the board for any guitar. I don't think torrefaction completely destroys the life of the wood. The wood is still alive. It's just not going to move as much. It's going to move. It's already done all its 70 years of moving before they build a guitar. But it's still there, and it's still moving and breathing, and so yeah. Anyhow, geez, that was a long one. Sorry about that. Oh, well, let's see. Let's get over here and take a look at these other things we have to see. So, as you well know, I've had a massive influx of great guitars come into my studio since the pandemic started. So, I'm selling some of my instruments. There's one that's already gone. It didn't even make it through supper.
No.
We went in for supper, and a person came and bought it. It was only in here for, what, 5 minutes? So, yeah. The first thing we're going to see is my demo, my T16 Demo from Recording King. Now, you might know this is the one that I gave not such a glowing review to, but it's still a good guitar for a beginner, and I set it up nice. So there's that, and Glenn can talk to you about price and all this stuff. There's nothing here over $1,000, all under $1,000. This guitar here is a beautiful Alvarez. This guitar I played on the Primary Color Show. This is the instrument I played Whispers of the North on, and it's a hoss. I actually hate to see this go, but I just can't keep it. I have no room. And then over here, this is a real interesting instrument. I bought this from a collector in Halifax because I was going to collect it myself. But I decided against it because it's, again, no room. This Yamaha is roughly 50 years old. They call this the lawsuit Yamaha. It was, they were sued by Gibson over this because it looks so much like a Gibson Hummingbird or Dove. And it's a smoking guitar. Smoking. And I set it all up, and I was going to keep it, but I'd rather have it go to somebody who'll play it. So, and it's very reasonably priced. And then lastly, we got a beautiful A1m Yamaha here that I've been using in the studio for about a year. It's got a killer pickup system in it. And yeah, but again, I have too many instruments, so I'm going to let that one go as well. That's a great guitar. Beautiful instrument. All mahogany. See, there's their ARE top right there. That is an ARE top. And I don't believe it's torrefied. I think it's chemically enhanced and probably machine enhanced, mathematically and geometrically enhanced when it's built. But it sounds great. Great guitar. So, our question. Now, we got a real special deal here now. So, the winner of the question tonight.
No, that's open for everybody.
Oh, I know. But we're doing this because this is the 20th anniversary. So the winner of the trivia question tonight will get their normal. Do you have it? Where's the G&G straps?
Oh, they're hanging
Right here.
in there. Yeah,
Cool.
there's a bunch of them in there. Leather ones.
Oh, look at the nice bouchers.
Yeah. Should be a bunch all together there.
There we go. There you go. These are beautiful. So you win your nice Levy's leather custom strap with the G&G logo on it, and a set of strings of your choice and a winder. And for tonight, don't forget, whoever calls in first with a deposit on the Lakewood there will get $600 off of that. And here's the big news. Whoever calls in with a deposit on this guitar This is the J.P. Cormier signature model Boucher. It's signed inside on the label by myself and Robin. And I have also signed the certificate right below Robin. You call in with a deposit on this guitar, you get $1,000 off this instrument. That is huge. $1,000 off. If you want one of these guitars, I would do it now. They're getting scarce. Let me tell you. The whole guitar world has exploded. And I can't be happier. It isn't just Boucher. It's everybody. Everyone is into guitar. They want to learn. They want to buy. They want to upgrade. My music school online is going crazy. MasterMusicMethod.com. If you want lessons that are just like private lessons from me, that's where to go. For $15 US a month, you get access to every video on the site 24/7. And the lessons are like taking private lessons from me. I'm just there talking to you. You see the instruments from your own playing perspective, the shot the right way so you can see what you're doing. And like the whole industry has just exploded. And it freaks me out. It's amazing. I never thought I'd see this. I feel like I'm in the revival again. You know, at the end of the 60s, actually at the end of the 50s, all through the 60s, there was a massive folk revival, and everyone bought guitars, and that's why Yamaha started building guitars, and that's when Martin exploded, through bluegrass and folk, and all these companies had this massive heyday. And now, because of the pandemic, it's happening again. People are falling back on the one thing that they can count on that'll never change, which is their love of music. It's a universal language, and it makes all the bullshit go away. It really does. And I couldn't be happier about that, to finally see. I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. And you know this too, Glenn. Not even 5 years ago, there was people in the trade magazines that were saying that the guitar sales worldwide had collapsed, and that there'd be these companies were going to go out of business. Gibson, Taylor, all these companies were in massive trouble, that the guitar sales had gone down 70% worldwide, and that it was the end. Now look, holy God, it's like, I don't even know what to think about it anymore. So that's why we're doing this. We're only doing this because it's fun and it works. So that gives you an idea just how popular the instrument is coming back full strength, right? Okay, let's see if I can get one more question in, and we should do the contest because it's almost 8 o'clock. So here's the question. I had to think about this one for a while. And you all know my love of Jerry Reed. So he was one of the world's greatest guitar players. There'll never be another Jerry Reed. But a lot of people don't even realize he was a guitar player because he was also an actor. So the question is, this is a good one. It'll probably happen. You just put the answer here. What was the first movie that Jerry Reed ever starred in? And I'll give you a hint. It was with Burt Reynolds. And it's probably not the one you're thinking of.
Nope.
1975. So let's see who gets that. The first Hollywood movie that Jerry Reed ever had a starring role in.
Nobody yet.
Shane Arsenault got it. He misspelled the hell out of it. he was trying to do it so fast, but I'm going to give it to you, brother. I know what you were trying to say. VW Dixie Dance.
Good one.
It's WW and the Dixie Dance Kings. Yeah, so you got it, Shane.
Is he the first?
Shane Arsenault was the first, yeah. And a lot of people had said Smokey and the Bandit and Gator. No. W.W. and the Dixie Dance Kings was the first movie he ever starred in with Burt Reynolds, Ned Beatty. Great movie, really funny. So there you go. So Shane, what you're going to do is you're going to send an email to jpcormier38@gmail.com. The same one that you see the e-transfer info in the info below the screen there where you're watching us. jpcormier38@gmail.com. Make reference to winning the contest. Put the answer in there, WW and the Dixie Dance Kings, and then I'll forward that on to Glenn here. You can either come pick up your winder strings and strap, and if you want to take advantage of these two deals here, and anybody else who wants to, but you get first crack at it, so there you go. And I appreciate you playing along with the game. I can't stump people. It's not
hard.
possible. I don't know what the hell. I have to think harder for questions, I guess. Anyhow, let's see. What do we want to go out on?
Well, I'd like to say first of all,
Glenn, yes, by all
yeah,
means.
first of all, I'd like to thank JP for coming here. He's not only a friend, but he's been a supporter of not only my business, but a lot of the music business throughout the country. So thanks very much. And I'd like to thank all the customers over the last 20 years that have supported myself and Marley at the shop. I've met thousands of people. It's been fantastic, and I hope to meet a lot more. The one thing I'm going to say till the end of the month is anybody that wants to come in, there's 10% off of any instrument in the store, and that can save you literally hundreds and hundreds off of guitars. And once again, the JP Cormier Limited, whoever calls in and makes a deposit gets $1,000 off that guitar. There's only one. And the Lakewood, the one that Matt Anderson plays, there's $600 if you call in and make a deposit, and I'll ship them anywhere at all. Okay? So I'd like to thank everybody again, and maybe JP can take us out. Thanks a lot.
See you next week. Be good.